Hi, I'm Larry Dignan with Constellation Research, and we're here with Josh Reicher. He is Chief Digital Officer at Cenlar. Hi, Josh. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
So I guess for starters, let's just talk about what Cenlar is and what you do here.
Sure. So Cenlar is the largest mortgage servicing company in the industry. Basically, we offer mortgage servicing as a service to our clients.
Does that work as, are you like a white box provider, or people just outsource servicing to you?
We provide, where our clients want to have private label services, we provide them. For those that want the Cenlar name on their servicing, we provide that as well. So it really is designed to whatever our clients need.
So as far as, I assume the margins are a little thin, what's your approach to technology and getting returns?
Well, as you're right, margins are in this industry, and I would imagine across all areas of this industry, yes, margins are going to be thin. Our focus is on execution, right? So if we can provide best-in-class execution, if we are minimizing mistakes and we're doing the best we can in terms of automation, which is a big one, we're able to deliver better services and more profitability to our shareholders.
How do you approach something like automation? I guess, what do you choose to automate versus not?
So when we look at automation, the first thing we look at is risk, right? How can we decrease our operational risk? And when we talk about decreasing our risk, everything follows suit, right? We improve our performance, we improve our profitability, we improve the experience for clients, for homeowners, their homeowners, for our employees, to provide better services to the first two.
Okay, so if you're looking to automate, is that AI off the shelf? How do you look at, or do you look at specific processes that kind of become a pain to the employers as well as other folks? I guess, how do you look at that?
It wasn't me that coined the term, but hyper automation or intelligent automation, using the combination of the two, is a really big deal for us. And the idea is basically have the most amount of tools in the tool belt that you can use, because there are different problems across the company, right? If it is just a repetitive process that needs to be automated, standard RPA is going to get the job done and you can script it out. If it's going to require a little bit more intuition, this is where we can start to look at applications of AI. We're using AI now for natural language understanding, and we're starting to get into generative AI capabilities as well.
So when it comes to generative AI, I mean, I do this for a living, so I hear from every vendor on the planet has some generative AI offering. Do you try to mix and match those? Do you find one platform and go? How do you wade through all that?
We're still exploring, actually. When it comes to generative AI, what is most important for us to get started, and we have some proofs of concept in the works now, is controls and safety. Right, so with something of this great of popularity, there are also folks out there that are going to try to break it or are going to try to do wrong by this technology. We have to make sure that our clients and their homeowners are safe before we release this technology. So there's a couple things that we're doing. One is we're going to make sure the data never leaves our confines. It's an obvious one, but it's something that we state to be clear. The other one is we're a highly regulated industry. So it's very important that any type of technology, AI especially, that is delivering dynamic responses, intuitive responses, that information never goes directly in front of a homeowner without what I call a human in the middle, right? So the idea is that a back office agent is looking at a response, is looking at a decision and saying, based on the information that I'm seeing, that response to that decision is accurate, is reasonable, yes, send that out, right? So what it's doing is we're enabling the back office to provide better services versus creating risk for our clients and their homeowners that AI is not yet ready. I believe it is, but we don't want to take that chance.
So as far as vendor selection goes, will this be new vendors or using open source models? How?
Back to having all the tools in the tool belt, we are doing both. So we have several partners out there that we're talking with around coming up with some ideas, because time to market is really important as well. When we see it, we want to get it in now. The other part is we want to build up that competency internally. So we have an internal team. I have a very smart set of developers, architects, etc., that I partner with in order to be able to design internal solutions. So we can build up that competency, we can kind of flex our AI muscles, and as we have innovative ideas that maybe the rest of the market isn't ready for, or hasn't yet directed over to the servicing industry, we can hit first.
So will you integrate that with workflow? Like, how does that Or how do you see that working?
That absolutely. So when we talk about hyper automation, and I mentioned RPA, workflow is the other technology that we have in place now, and we're expanding out. So that's exactly it, where the decisions are simple enough, or where the decisions can be monitored well enough, is yes, we can have AI, generative AI, or any other type, making the decision, then telling the operator, the human in the middle, this is the decision I made, these are the reasons why I made the decision, and then an operator can say, yes, this is correct, send it through. But yes, it does involve that integration between workflow and AI to make that happen.
Now, what do you choose not to innovate with? Like, if there's always this tension between best of breed, build your own, just buy the suite.
Yep.
What do you choose just to, take off the shelf software with?
We try to avoid point solutions. You could potentially get best of breed for one specific function, but the problem in doing that is eventually you have enough of those one specific functions, and now you have too much, call it, vendor sprawl or technology sprawl, and you have to be able as an IT organization to support all of that technology, right? And so if we're going to make sure that the technology is enabling the business versus slowing them down because we're having to maintain various versions of technology, licensing, vendor relationships, etc., it's going to slow us down and make us less productive overall.
Okay. How do you look at returns? Like, what are your benchmarks? Business metrics,
absolutely,
metrics.
Absolutely. First of all, it has to be quantitative. If returns cannot be measured, then if it's all qualitative in terms of the soft benefits, it's not going to continue to get investment, right? So the first one is, can we decrease mistakes, right? Because if we're decreasing mistakes, there's usually penalties associated with those mistakes. Those go away. Can we find efficiencies in terms of elevating employees to more analytical, thoughtful roles, say problem solving and supervising versus having to do the repetitive things, and we can measure that as well. And then we also look at risk scores, right? So are we automating more of our controls? So as we do, anything we do needs a control around it to ensure that we're doing it correctly and accurately. Are we automating those, or are we doing those manually? We measure the amount of controls that we automate, as well as overall risk scores, as you can imagine, the number of issues and incidents and all those types of things that come out of operational processes. Are those numbers coming down as well? So we measure all of those metrics when we're implementing automations to look at the short and long-term results.
So that all adds up to profit and loss more than revenue growth, so to speak.
Right. So
it's more efficiency.
Exactly. Remember that we're offering servicing as a service. We're not selling the technology directly. We're leveraging the technology to provide the best possible service.
Okay. What are some of the other things to think about in your business that's unique to mortgage in terms of technology? Like, obviously interest rates are up. I guess, what are some of the unique characteristics to think about on the technology front?
When it comes to our industry, Yeah, something that a lot of what it is that we do is going to be, operationally focused. Operations applies to a lot of industries, which adds some convenience there, but we have to keep a close eye on what's going on the origination side of the industry as well. So as that throughput comes down, as originations go down because interest rates are high, new purchases are going down, new bills are going down. We do see the longer term implications for us in terms of making sure that our clients, we're able to adjust to how our clients are adjusting to the industry. And I think that's really important, is that everything that we do is around how our clients are functioning. So whether they're growing, if they're shrinking, if they're transitioning, is our technology and our solutions have to be able to support those stages of their businesses. And that is kind of the last piece that makes us unique. As I mentioned, that we're a sub-servicing company versus a servicing company, meaning we offering it to several different clients. We have to be able to offer technology that can span the needs of several different clients, but can make sure that every one of their individual needs are met. So we're not generalizing the solution so much that no individual gets their unique value. but also, as you can imagine, from a tech perspective, not individualizing it so much that we're having to maintain hundreds or thousands of different pieces of technology to do it, right? So it's finding that unique balance that I think is unique to our industry.
So you have to look at not only the business, but you have to look at the industry, and then you also have to look at the macro economy to see what
Absolutely.
where trends are going.
They all have an impact on us, both short and long term. And folks, at Cenlar, much smarter than me when it comes to managing Cenlar as a business, have figured that part out. Mine is to make sure that when they're ready to pull the trigger on a business change, an expansion, a transition, et cetera, that the technology is ready to support them. So what we're focused on within the technology space is thinking ahead, not to, okay, what is the business problem we're trying to solve right now? That is part of our job, but it's also understanding the industry, understanding where our board and our executive team want to go 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, so we can start preparing. Like, we know that AI is going to be a very big deal for our industry in, call it, if not now, 6, 12, 18 months from now. So that's why we're building out that capability now, knowing that it will be coming. And we have several of these initiatives as kind of an idea lab that we've been running with for years now to try to stay ahead of the curve. And that's a lot of our success, and I could talk about what our success in our digital strategy, in our automation strategy. All of these had to do with us being prepared often years in advance for when we needed to execute on that strategy.
I think that's all I have. Anything I didn't ask that I should have?
No, they're very great questions. I hope I answered them to your satisfaction.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.